Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the West Coast Trios of Wrestling Podcast. My name is Tony, your host for this evening. As always, my tag team partners, Mondonia, Armando. How are you, bro?
Good, man. How are you? Just coming off
Good.
those PLE and the AEW yesterday. I know we're going to touch base on those, but everything's good. Happy
Yes.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And then on the other side of the corner, we have the California Rattlesnake himself. Miguel, how are you, bud?
Hey, what's up, guys? Big blessings to everyone, to you guys and your loved ones, and to your moms. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, to my younger sister, and to all the moms out there. But I feel great. We had such a great weekend of wrestling. I can't wait to get into it.
Oh, let's just get into it already then. I know we just had WWE Backlash the other night. What a nice, great pay-per-view. It just again, I just think the crowd again was such a big part of this whole PLE, albeit being on ESPN and whatnot, but people complaining about 3 matches, but we could talk about that later on. But let's talk about the I know there was 5, but then there are 3 matches afterwards, and the whole aspect of having the extra premium plan. But let's talk about what you guys thought about the matches overall. Let's start with you, Callie. What you think?
I mean, okay. Are we speaking overall in terms of the whole PLE or just one match at a time? And if so, which match are we going first?
Here, let's start off from the
go.
beginning. Let's start off with the Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker match.
Okay.
Very intense, but let's have you talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you guys know how I feel about passing the torch and wanting the younger guys, or not even younger guys, but the new talent, fresh talent, to start their storylines, etc. But I'm gonna tell you something. You gotta give credit where credit is due. For me, Seth Rollins won that night. Even though he lost on paper, he won. I think it was a great fight by him. I think it was a great push by him. And I don't know if you guys caught the after show. He came out and spoke, which we rarely ever see. We rarely see someone who loses come out and speak like that. Normally it's at the locker room or in the back real quick and that's it.
Yeah.
But for him to really come out and put everything on the table and kind of say, hey, look, this is where I'm at. I'm at a crossroads with virtually myself, but I laid it out. But I know that I need to kind of figure stuff out. I think it was awesome. What you think, Mondo?
Man, that match, I got to say, one of the top 3 out of the 5 there. And I agree with you, man. Even though we're going to touch a little bit later on, losers can be winners, John Cena little tournament thing there, but we'll get into that later.
Exactly.
But
I was say, great point that you're saying that, because when I heard that too, I was like, I was really taken back by that, because there has been a lot of times over the years, and you guys know this, where we've seen amazing matches where the person that lost completely stole the show.
Yeah, totally agree. And
100% agree. And that's just a testament to who Seth Rollins is. And I'm reminding you guys, last time we had this conversation, we were all together. That was literally, I think we were all 3 for 3. We said Braun Breaker was going to win. And at the same time, I mentioned that, I believe I mentioned that in order for, Seth Rollins, no matter what, if he loses, he's still a main event type guy, no matter what. And I think he delivered. Yes, there was a little bit of miscues here and there during the actual match itself. But overall, the storytelling, you felt the crowd really into every single bit of that match, and it carried on into the rest of the PLE. But during that, the whole sequence of events for Seth and Braun, like, you could tell the animosity. You could feel how badly each one of them wanted to win. And at the end, Braun Breaker came out on top, and I have no issues with that. I think I love the decision making on having Braun Breaker win, because like I mentioned last time, Brock Lesnar is no longer there with Paul Heyman. You need that tough guy. You need that next heel to kind of elevate. And kudos to both Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker for creating a great match. And overall, I'm like, what, like you said it right there, Miguel. Like, what's next for Seth Rollins? Who is he going to be going after? Is he still going to be going after the division? Is he still, got maybe go somewhere else? Mondo, you're shaking your head. Where do you think he's going to be going?
Nah, I don't think he'll be going with division anytime soon. Like you said, he put over Braun Breaker in the best possible way, shape, imaginable. It was the quickness of this upstart Braun Breaker versus the craftiness, the veteran versus the rookie, basically. And you saw that story. And like you said, it was fast paced, like every single time, hard hitting. You felt it. Man, this was just really, really intense. And you got to like it. It was a lot of the crowd really played into this match too. When they thought Rollins had control, they would start playing his symphony and start chanting. But then right out of the bat, here comes Braun Breaker. Freaking Pitbull or Bulldog, whatever, just chomping at the bits. And every time it looked like Seth had momentum, here comes Braun Breaker. And that was a great story right there. When you saw him have momentum, and I'm talking about Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker breaks it up. Seth Rollins getting momentum again. Braun Breaker breaks it up. And I love that from beginning to end, man. And you know what? They had a good solid, like, almost 20 plus minutes. It was 20 plus, I'm sorry, like almost 22, 23 minutes. Jesus, man. If you missed it, it's okay. Go back, watch this match. And I'm glad it's the very first match in the card there.
Maybe what do you think of the overall decision with Braun Breaker? You felt like that was the right move?
Yeah. So like I said, nothing against Braun Breaker. I thought that, again, the match was great. I just have to give kudos more to just Seth Rollins because I didn't really expect that. You know what I'm saying? In terms of his injury and where he's at in life, to come out and to do the things like Mondo stated, speed, agility, physical, both of them. I mean, it was just a perfect matchup for a hungry dog like Braun. And as we were speaking with Otis and Oba,
Yeah.
Here we're seeing another superstar do the same thing for Breaker. So it was great. For me, it was great of a match.
Cool. And then one last thing I kind of want to touch up. Maybe it'll probably hit a little bit closer to home with Mondo. And I've been seeing this comparison of sequences between Seth Rollins doing, in a sense, like I mentioned, there was a couple of spots here and there where he kind of had a couple of miscues, but internet, sleuths out there really compared what he was doing versus Will Ospreay from AEW, where there was a point in the match where Braun Breaker was doing the Frankensteiner, and then you see Seth Rollins, flipping and then almost landing perfectly on his feet. But then, it was a scary spot for me to see just because.
Yeah, Braun Breaker landed on his head on that one, the first attempt.
Yeah, well, that and the fact that Seth Rollins, when he landed, he landed a little bit awkwardly. And again, he's had, knee injuries throughout his career. And that just,
I was going to
making that,
Yeah, well, I was gonna say two things. Let me add two things about that with you guys. Like you said, first of all, the point out that Mondo talked about earlier, and right now you alluded to, in terms of them making mistakes or botching, I like, because one, it shows you're human.
Yeah.
Not only do I like, but when the times it did happen, they also smoothed into it. So there was no awkward moment. It was just kind of the improv, and then let's go to what was next on our card. And that's what I love about it. Now, in terms of when he landed like that when he did that, Osprey looking move.
Yeah.
I was a little scared too.
Yeah.
One, for his knee.
Yeah, me too.
Two, because you got to think about it, man. These guys, and I say this with a lot of respect, meaning in muscle, but these guys are big boys, man. And you're doing a flip like that in the air and then landing with so much weight on your knees. I was just kind of like, I went like this because I was just like, ooh. There was a few times during that match where I was just like, ooh, man, like this match is like they're hitting each other hard,
Especially the spears. Like you see Braun like running from one end to the other, running again. Next thing you know, he's like, he just speeds up like a locomotive, and bam, he gets hit with that spear, and I'm like,
really reminded me like a late 90s WWF match, man. Where I was just watching as a kid, I was like, man, these guys are hitting each other hard, you know?
Yeah, but
So,
I think overall, like I saw it and I'm like, man, like, you know, there's you don't see that often from Seth Rollins, and then again, like you said, it made him look, you know, a human, and at the same time, I just think that it you know, he doesn't do that often. So someone
mhm,
like Will Ospreay, who is known to do flips, or maybe like a Ricochet, who's known to flip around, you know, they know how to land. Not that Seth Rollins didn't know how to land. I just think the timing was off, but overall, it didn't take away from the whole match. It's just, you know, things of that where people can nitpick at it. So I just wanted to kind of get your opinions on that. But overall, great match. I loved it. You know, kudos again to Seth Rollins, and tomorrow's Monday Night Raw, so I'm pretty
mhm.
sure he'll boast about it
Yeah.
tomorrow night. Match number 2, we saw Trick Williams and Sami Zayn next up, and you know, rest in peace to the Gingerbread Man with the eulogy happening on Friday Night SmackDown. And then Little Yachty, you know, oh my God, dude, this guy took a couple of lickings out there on the outside. Mondo, like, what did you thought about the match?
Uh, pretty solid, decent match. Sami Zayn, from what I gathered from the storyline, was getting heated. You know, as they refer to him, the underdog from the underground, and it was just kind of awkward to see that from him. It looks like he's a face now, and it's just going outside of his norms. Like it's getting really, really hard for him to be this face. The frustration showed, and I love that throughout the match, where he was kind of it looked like he was second guessing himself on certain things, but then when it came time to make a decision, it was a decision that wasn't really like face like. It was more heelish. Like he went after Little Yachty, like you said, beating the hell out of him with the kendo stick, and you know it was just little things like that that I liked in the persona, where it's like you're seeing him lose control not only of his, you know, calmness, but
Yeah.
it's like he's going into madness, and I kind of like that. Hopefully, they can stretch this out a bit, and we can see like a zany Sami Zayn, so to speak, just to play on his name a little bit there. But these guys had a great match. This is actually, I'll be honest with you guys, this is the first time I see Trick Williams in action. Very athletic. I like the guy. Very over with the crowd.
Oh,
And
super
I
over.
can't. Yep. There you got that. What is that? What's the chant?
Oh,
Whoop that trick.
There you go.
Whoop that
Whoop that
trick.
trick. I was
Whoop
like,
that
trick.
trick.
okay, like I'm hearing it right then. All right. And then, like I said, decent match, solid. One of the good ones. It wasn't part of my top 3 though. I would say it was like number 4. But that's Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Going back to that, top 3. But this match for the U.S. title, like, man, what an ending! And then, just at the end, just to see Sami Zayn just kind of looking around, pondering like, what's next for me?
Yeah.
Lose it, man. You gotta lose yourself in the moment, so to speak.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Miguel?
So I'll be quick with my assertion because it's more of an assertion of last time or WrestleMania, and I'll tie it in real quick. I thought the match was good. Okay, let me explain to you. When Sammy drops the belt at WrestleMania to Trick Williams, to me, that's when they need to play on Sammy's character and go through whatever he's going through. I think you're losing the crowd a bit when you bring him again the next PLE, and here they are fighting again, right? The storyline had already been going on since before that. It's not like they were building into something. So I think maybe that's where their storyline could maybe reset to then meet up in the future.
Yeah, 100% agree.
And so to me, I'm with you with Mondo. It wasn't the greatest match in terms
Yep.
of entertainment or storyline because I would have loved for them to start inserting the storyline that he had on NXT with Carmelo.
Yeah.
Carmelo just had the title. Now he has the title. They've been beefing for the last 2 years. That should be the start of it. You know what I'm saying? start building that aura, that rock stone cold aura with these two. No, again, I'm not trying to take away nothing against Sami Zayn and Trick Williams, but it was a good match. You know, it was something that we saw at WrestleMania, and I wanted a little bit more storyline. So, Tony, what were your thoughts about that?
I thought it was. I thought that might have been the ending of that story. To be honest, I think the whole bringing in Gingerbread Man into the mix, and again, funny thing that they did with inserting him into the storyline.
Yeah,
But like, having Gingerbread Man die, and then having them fight in Backlash, and kind of in a sense, hey, this is what we, Trick Williams just beat Sami Zayn again, and I think this is probably the end of it,
right.
of this particular feud, and then hopefully they can reset for something else into the future. And I 100% agree with you, Miguel. I think this story has run its course. I think it's time to have, maybe, like you said, maybe Carmelo Hayes jumping into the mix and see where that story goes with Trick Williams. And big shout out to Little Yachty for taking the haluva kick and kind of ramming his face up against the board right there, getting knocked out, and then being
Little
out for like
Yachty,
maybe like
hope
10,
you're good.
15 minutes, and then he just started throwing money everywhere. But shout out to Little Yachty on that one. I thought it was a good overall match. Again, I agree with Mondo, maybe top 4 out of the 5, because I think the next match really I think in terms of entertainment was just as fun, and that was the Danhausen versus Kit Wilson and The Miz. And Danhausen, what an unbelievable entertainer. If you were looking for a wrestling match, maybe that wasn't the best wrestling match out there, but that was a hell of a lot of fun. And last time we talked, I said it was going to be, hey, I expected CM Punk to come out because of the friendship and because of this, backstory that they had back in AEW. But then I started seeing the little machine, the cloning machine, and then I realized it said cloning machine. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of probably be like a mini-me type of situation. And I was right when it came out. It was a little mini-me, a little Danhausen mini-me. And
Excuse me,
Mini house.
Minihausen.
There you go. Correct
and
them. Correct them.
Tony, you are cursed.
damn it, how dare you. All right, guys. On to the next match, which I thought was one of the most entertaining matches of the night, was the tag team between Danhausen and Kit Wilson and The Miz. Again, Danhausen, we thought, at least I thought, CM Punk, and I think, Mondo, you were part of that decision making too, where we both said it's going to be CM Punk. But then we were surprised. How much were you surprised, Mondo, with what you saw during that match? With the
Very surprised. Very surprised. Predictions. I was going to be what, 0-1 right now? No, wait, 1-1. But when I saw that, it was just like, okay, it makes sense. You know why? Putting them in that middle area of the card.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was like, if you're going to put a big name, then you're going to take away the steam out of the whole room. So I get what they did there. And yeah, it was an entertaining match. I know Miguel wants to talk about this because he's a Fanhausen. So I'm going to give it off to Miguel.
Well, I mean, really, what can I say about Danhausen and the WWE and what they're doing with him? I think it is absolutely gold, from the storytelling to even the storytelling that happened in the ring. Like you said, Tony, the clone coming in, there was lots of cool little parts about the match. Kit with his mirror, and then where Minihausen was trying to curse him, and then faces the mirror to him, and so it essentially curses Minihausen. He curses his own stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that throughout the match that I think were awesome. Then okay, let's put this guy away, thinking that okay, he's not gonna come out, but you put him again in a cloning machine, and then more come out. So again, I just think it's really, really, really genius entertainment by the WWE and Danhausen, obviously, and the mini Housens, including the wrestling mini Housen, because as you alluded to, not only did he take great bumps, but man, he was a great wrestler. He's a great wrestler. His
Yeah,
moves.
it's funny how, like, again, he all those bumps that he took. I just can't believe he was thrown up, and the Miz who like the gorilla pressed the dude all the way up to the top, and then just threw him out, and then he's just ripping his shirt like he's like the Ultimate Warrior or whatnot. Like he's like the most powerful man out there, dude. You just picked up a 50-pound man up, and then you just threw him out there, which I thought was funny to me. But overall, Mother, what do you think in terms of decision making for this match? You think it was the right call?
Right call? Yeah, got to have Danhausen win. Can't be too down on the, type of match that it was. Very entertaining. And if he didn't come out on top, it's like, then why even have him there? You know what I mean? To begin with,
Yeah.
cursing all these people. That's the thing. It's like, keep cursing until that gets, put to rest. But I don't see it ending soon. It's a lot of fun. And hopefully, if he does continue to feud with Kit Wilson or even maybe the Miz a little bit, maybe they can throw in a little bit more of his wife in there, make a little mixed tag match. There's a lot of possibilities I can see this going if he still sticks with them. But overall, this was very entertaining. We alluded to that this was more of an entertaining match, not your traditional wrestling, but
No, yeah.
But this was hands down why, for example, WWE exists. They're part of the sports entertainment business. And you got sports entertainment from beginning to end with Danhausen's vignette, which I really loved.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
It was amazing. And
it like took me by surprise too when it was on. I was like, wait, what is this? And then I was like, okay.
But the way they made it, say if it was like, just say for example, like myself, wasn't too sure what was going on because we do have great friends in our circle. Richard Kupaki, as we like to call him, sent me something with Danhausen, and he was invading the Miz's house. And for me, I was just like, okay, from what I got, I'm like, okay, they're in a feud, but what's really going on here? And when he made the vignette, I'm like, maybe it all makes sense. You know what I mean? That part. And WWE, I'm gonna give credit to them. They really know how to wrap everything up, like in short vignettes. Like, hey, I know what's going on. I'm caught up now. I understand why they're having this match, and because of that, I was really, really invested, and especially with the whole cloning thing, little box there, and to my surprise, when I saw the little person.
Mini Housen.
There you go. It just makes me laugh. It was again, I was expecting like a big name like CM Punk, but that was the right direction to go. It was very entertaining. Like you said, he took the mini Housens took a lot of bumps there, but in the end, the right call was made. Danhausen, you got to put him over. Again, where this goes, I hope it does continue because it was very entertaining. The Miz doesn't get a lot of credit, but when it comes to entertainment, he's one of the best out there. So
he is
very good.
He will live on forever. But in terms of understanding his role in entertainment, hear me out right now.
Yeah.
One day, just like they're doing at USC with Travis Scott and studying how he came up with music, they're going to study the Miz. They have to, man. He just understands entertainment, and he happens to understand wrestling and plays the roles very well, man. And that's deadly. Other wrestlers, they don't understand the entertainment form until 15, 20 years in. And I'm not preaching to the choir when I say this, but y'all got to remember, the Miz comes from MTV.
Yep.
And chasing his dream before any of this started.
He was hungry.
So having that background already and understanding how that works, and now you're chasing your dream at the highest level. I mean, his worlds collide in the best way, and we're seeing it time and time again. I never we never hear when is the Miz gonna retire. We always hear what's next for the Miz, and I love that testimony to who he is and what he brings to the table.
And shout out to Kit Wilson because brand new entertaining wrestler that was part of a tag team with Pretty Deadly, and now he went on his own, and I think this is the first time I think I've seen him on a PLE. So
his partner's hurt.
Yeah, and that's why he went on his own.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's doing a great job, redefining himself as a singles competitor, and albeit being in a tag team here in this match. But shout out to Kit Wilson, and I think overall, I was last before we go on to the next match. I think that I kept on thinking about was you, Miguel, because you saw Danhausen going around the ring in that little coffin car, and then all I could think about was the American Badass and the Rattlesnake, who are known to go around the ring, and then now all of a sudden you got Danhausen, and like you guys said, this, Danhausen will always be remembered now for the entertainment aspect, and this adds to him, that little presentation of who he is, and I thought it was a really good match.
Yeah, great call out.
Asuka, Io Sky was the next match, which I thought was the match of the night. And with Kairi Sane not being there, I think this blow off from their big feud for that took a while. And we mentioned it last time with AEW's women carrying that tag team match last time on their end. We had big expectations for this match, and they delivered. I truly believe they delivered. I think that was the match of the night. And Mondo, I hopefully you feel the same way.
I do feel the same way, and I'm 2 for 1 on my predictions. I did state last week that they were going to go at least 15-20 minutes, and guess what? They went for about an 18-minute, about 7 seconds there. I hit my little timer, on my phone, doing that for every match. So I was just like, I loved it. It was just this. Showing respect to her senpai, which is Asuka, Io Sky being taken under the wing there. Little history lesson there. And this one was great. It was another back and forth action, but the way they were telling the story was that Asuka was always countering Io Sky, always countering her student. Again, it was another, you can't really say Io Sky is a rookie at this point because she does have some years under the WWE and NXT. Same with Asuka, but Asuka's been up in the main roster a little bit longer. So this was really great. Both of them were just selling each body part. Io, I believe it was her right arm. Asuka was just kind of being thrown off balance with Io's techniques. And, she was doing moonsaults, attacking her on the outside of the ring, which was a big part of the night here with about every match. Everybody was going outside, taking advantage of what they can do, the steel post, the commentators table, notepads, pencils, you name it. So this had just about everything you could expect. It was building up to something. And, from what we can gather from the rumor mill is just, hopefully this isn't Asuka's last match. She did get very emotional. And I saw that and I'm just like, as a fan, when you see that, you have a lot of thoughts racing in your head. Hopefully, she's not retiring from what's going on with TKO. Did she not want to take a pay cut? All these things. And it's just like, you know what? Let's just calm down. Hopefully it's not the end for her and she'll come back stronger. Maybe she just wants to take some time off. Here's hoping for that. But you know what? In the end, Io Sky did beat her mentor. And another great push. We're seeing good things happening for the, I guess you can say the younger talent there within WWE, including NXT. And hopefully this, like Miguel stated, creates new blood in the system of the main roster. And you can have more people growing and more feuds developing, which is a good thing. So great call, great match. Yes, this was my number 2. And you guys will be surprised when I say which one was number 1.
Miguel, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great matchup. Like I said, if this is Asuka's last time wrestling for WWE, I'll be sad because she brought a lot to entertain us, and I agree with Mondo too. Though it was an absolute banger of a matchup. They were using everything and anything, getting on top of tables, getting on top of ropes, using the outside mats, using the chairs and the barrier. So great matchup overall. Io Sky's a beast. You guys, she's absolute beast. Um, like I said, I can't really say much, but what a great matchup.
And she commands the crowd. You see her, and she starts getting crazy, and then everybody's doing the point too.
Hmm.
Io,
I think
shout
I
out to
think
her.
that's funny too when she starts, pointing at her head and just the crowd starts going with her. Yeah. So
So I was doing the same thing too, and I saw that. That was cool. But overall, I did feel the same way as you guys with Asuka, seeing the emotion coming out from her. And hopefully we won't see the last of her. And Amanda, you mentioned rumor mills and whatnot, and you people start speculating. Is she a part timer? Did she not want to take a pay cut, like you mentioned, Amanda? Only time will tell, and then we will see. So great
What do
job
you
there.
mean, you people?
Um, but I think overall, let's before we get into the main event, the greatest of all time, John Cena comes out. Within WWE terms, yeah, he's the greatest of all time, right? He comes up with the what you mentioned, Mondo, coming up with more
Sure.
feuds, talking about more bringing up NXT people. I think this is where the John Cena Invitational comes about. The only, I think he mentioned it was like a pay-per-view or PLE, where it's going to be WWE versus NXT, their champion versus the other champion.
Hmm.
Kind of reminds me of, didn't we have like bragging rights a couple years
Yeah.
back, where it was Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and I think Keith Lee won that one.
Yeah.
And I just hope they don't drop the ball and be like, hey, Keith Lee did win that a couple years back, but then they didn't really do much with him. They didn't do much. They brought him up to the main roster, but then what happened? And then I hope that doesn't, in the sense of them bringing somebody up from NXT because of the fact that they won the match, not because they're just a regular call up. And here you are in the main roster. That where I see that I don't want them to mishandle somebody, because of the win. That all of a sudden, oh well, we don't know what to do with you. Same goes to the with Keith Lee. But with that being said, the John Cena Classic will be coming into fruition. We're gonna have a brand new champion, and whoever wins will not win completely because it's gonna be up to us, the fans, to vote on who actually walks away with the title, which is kind of weird to me. But Mondo, I see you're making these remarks within your face, but like, what do you think? What's going on with your mind on that one?
Yeah, I think we kind of touched base on that in the beginning of the show here. At first, I was conflicted, just like I am now, because I'm hearing it again, and it's just like Miguel pointed out, it's like you can put a great performance, lose, but you can still win this thing. So just talking about it, it's like it's a good thing, could be a bad thing, but I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to give us the audience, the WWE universe, a chance to say, "Hey, this guy's being overlooked." Now, will that happen? It's hard to say. We're gonna have to wait, find out how the brackets look, or how this tournament is gonna turn out, or start, I should say, and whether or not the vote really counts. We'll just see. Because again, I'm very skeptical. I like it. I'm 50-50. Let's just say I'm 50-50 because let's just say the guy who didn't deserve it, but he puts on a good match, ends up winning. It's like okay, but then you might have a good hard worker who wins the match. You know what I'm saying? There's like all these possibilities, and then to crown someone because they had, okay, let's just say for example, put on a good match, yet we find out his mic skills down the line ain't the best. Like, okay, then are we regretting our decisions? Maybe he doesn't mesh well with another wrestler down the line. Did we make it? You know, it's those things. So at the same time, it's still very interesting. But in the back of my mind, it's like, man, it's going to come down to the people. So hopefully we make the right choice. Teen Choice Awards.
Miguel, what do you think about the John Cena Classic? What are your thoughts?
The John Cena Classic. I can't wait to see how it is. I'm a bit excited how we were alluding to earlier, and we were talking about how there's times where there's great matches where necessarily we're not saying that the person that won didn't deserve, but sometimes there's those matches where the person that lost just happens to just the universe. We want to win more, right? And so I'm just curious how all that's really gonna work out and really how that's gonna play out, because if it's really true to what John Cena stated as, I mean, guys, strap up, buckle up, and do what we gotta do, because we're gonna have absolute banging wrestling coming in. Because I don't know about you guys, but as a competitor in anything, I mean, even hot Cheeto eating, I hate losing. So I'm pretty sure no one wants to lose, you know?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see that.
Cool. We look forward to seeing what happens. Hopefully, there's more of an explanation, like you said, Mondo. Maybe they'll talk about it more on Monday Night Raw later on in their show when we tune in. And so John Cena made his piece. John Cena Classic. Good luck WWE with that. And then obviously we want to see NXT do really well too. On to the main event. This is the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, and the OTC Roman Reigns. There you go. He's getting a little crazy out there, Miguel. I thought overall was a good story to tell between two cousins. And it kind of reminded me, Mondo, about like when me and you were younger, when we would just have our own wrestling feuds and we would just pretend to wrestle way back when we were children. And we kind of knew each other, right? We knew who, what we would bring and what, how we would communicate. And it just felt kind of like that when I was watching them. It's like, hey, they're family, but at the same time, like, their chemistry was really good. Their chemistry was really good, and the storytelling with near misses, near falls, the tongue and get death grip on there was, it made Roman like really almost submit. And at the end, I thought it was a really good match that everybody was really into for both sides. And it seemed like at the end, people were really on Roman's side. So, Mondo, what did you think about that?
I did pick up on the last portion there where people were taking Roman's side and just kind of giving him support towards the aftermath of what happened. But this was a very slow-paced start, a very methodical approach to both men feeling each other out. Like you said, when you're a family member, you kind of like, you don't want to give it away too fast, because if you've been knowing one another for a while, you don't want to go too fast and shorten up the match. But this was your typical methodical pace build-up, and it was just picking up steam. So that was very good. It's your typical Roman Reigns match, to be honest with you. But this is something where I need to have Roman do more often, not just with your family. Family is one thing, but you got to show me you're a workhorse, that you can do that with everybody else. Because my biggest gripe is that, why can't you do that with everybody else? Great match. I'm going to say this was my top match. Because of the slow buildup, and then towards the middle of the match, towards the end, it was just nonstop.
Yeah,
perfect. Only thing I noticed was, Fatu picks him up. Well, it takes two people. Sometimes Roman doesn't really like doing that, or he'll botch the little spot onto the announcer's table. Not here. He was like, as they say, putting him over. He can do that with everybody else. So I was just kind of like, okay, I like what I'm seeing from Roman, but just don't do it with your family. Like, stop having this nepotism stuff. And, just like, he's just as good as me. Well, we know that because you guys are related. Duh. Do that with other freaking wrestlers who are not part of a bloodline, who are not, given opportunities like you guys, like the rest of the family. But overall, I'm not going to take anything away from this match. But just if I can see Roman do that consistently, dude, like I would consider you one of the greatest of all time. And to me, this was a great match. Great storytelling. We don't know what's going to happen next because I was missing out on, well, where's the other Bloodline members? Where are the Usos after, Roman was attacked? Like, what is going on? Hopefully they can explain that on Raw.
Mhm.
But again, I want to see more of this of Roman Reigns. We don't see you too often, but when you do, you should, help your opponent, just not family, get over the way he did last night. And that was the beauty of that match. And that one was number one, guys. That was a top match.
Can you do that again? I guess you're acknowledging the.
Oh, I think I did.
Miguel, were you acknowledging the tribal chief yesterday too?
Yeah, you what?
As soon as he came out the match, I acknowledge him. I think it was a great match. There's not much to be said, but I mean, you guys already said it all. But I thought it was a great match, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next with Fatu. I just love his energy. I love how raw he is. And then also I'm ready to see what's next for the Chief, right? He did say at WrestleMania that he isn't going anywhere for the summer, that he's planning on working. So let's see what we got cooking for the rest of the summer with this, boys.
Yeah, you answered it. You were gonna answer my question that I was gonna ask you. Like, dude really wasn't hinged nearly after the match. And he just choked the crap out of Roman Reigns, and you saw everybody all the officials trying to back him off, and pulling his hair, which I think he actually said to one of them, "Pull my hair, but hey, you got to listen to that or watching the replay." So, they were trying to pull him off, but then that made him look, like you said, Mando, made him look like $1 million because Roman doesn't really do that for
anybody.
Yeah. But so, seeing the unhinged version of the Samoan werewolf, Miguel, I think you hit the nail on the head. You want to see that more. And every time he shook his head, I thought about you, bro, because that's what you said last time. Like every time I wake up, you wake up like the Samoan werewolf. So that was kind of funny to see that. I just like, well, that's Miguel right there.
All day.
Who was that former wrestler, the Jordan guy? What's his name? Kurt Angle's.
I know what you're talking about.
It just looked kind of creepy when the camera angle, like he's all trying to touch Roman's belly. I was like, "Whoa, bro! Like, what are you trying to do?" Like I don't know. I don't know.
Right I want to acknowledge you somehow.
Yeah, like, whoa, hey. PG-13, guys. Come on.
It's rated R for But overall, I think I think we all agreed that it was a really good PLE this time around. The crowd was really into it. The matches delivered. Entertainment wise, storyline wise, and what's next for Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu going into the summer. If we're well, in terms of like, is this going to keep going on into maybe possibly SummerSlam or maybe something before that, maybe Night of Champions or maybe blow off in Saudi Arabia, but we'll see for that. So PLE was good. And then, this PLE coming up, I think the next PLE, I think it's going to be the Mask versus Mask in AAA before we get into AEW. We don't talk about AAA as much, but with everything that's happening there with La Catalina coming over from MCMLL, and Mask versus Mask.
CMLL.
Oh, I thought I said that. CMLL?
No, you said MCLL. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, CMLL. Sorry, my bad.
By the way, were you guys able to watch any of the AAA this weekend?
No, I didn't get a chance.
No, I mean, I can give a small recap. I watched the show. I thought it was great.
Oh, so enlighten us.
Yeah. Just to give you guys a quick small recap of AAA. Like Tony said, we're getting into all these promotions and getting our groove and finding our rhythm and starting to watch all these. I've been watching AAA for a few weeks now, but This week we had Lince Dorado defeat Octagon Jr. and Cruz del Toro in a triple threat match. So that was pretty awesome to see. Right after that match, we had La Catalina defeat Jesse Jackson, as we were just or as you were just alluding to. What was cool at the end of that match, Bailey came out with Lola Vice to help La Catalina out against Las Toxicas. So, that's a story.
Hey,
That's a storyline that either are we seeing a triple team up with La Catalina and Vice and Bailey against Las Toxicas, and is that a storyline now moving forward in AAA? So we got to pay attention to that. In the next matchup, we had La Parca and Mr. Iguana defeat Money Machine, Nueva Generación Dinamita, and Tokyo Bad Boys in a fatal four-way. That was a pretty entertaining match. Obviously, anytime you have La Parca and Mr. Iguana and La Yesca, you're going to get a very entertaining match. And then it ended with a segment of Psycho Clown calling out Pagano for the recent backstage attacks that have been going on. It's a whole story and kind of rivalry that's going on. They don't know if they're either blackmailing each other or what's going on with that storyline, but it seems that the boys of the painted faces are going through something. So that's another little matchup to look out after.
I guess I got to start checking that out too. And CMLL, because that's under the umbrella of AEW. So we're about to start checking that out too, because we have Triple Mania coming up after this match versus match thing happening, but that's later on. I guess that's their WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's their
event.
That's their WrestleMania, and just again, just for so everyone is just aware, you can catch AAA on WWE and the AAA YouTube every Saturday. Okay, the time I think it's like 5 Eastern, or yeah, 5, so 8 Eastern and then 5 our time, or double check, but it's on the YouTube channel. So
Okay.
they do it every Saturday, so you can catch up, and on the next day they put up every match. So tons of ways for all of us to catch up.
Awesome. Thanks for the update on that. And I think I look forward to watching AAA on the next one.
And
Is there any way seeing CMML on YouTube, Mondo, or that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
I don't really see too much CMML on YouTube like that, to be honest. I'm seeing a lot of more of the other promotions. NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, that started up in Georgia. They just signed a contract with a TV broadcasting called SMET. And so they broadcast their shows every Saturday. So that's another thing to look out after.
You're like Stone Cold ET? But no, that's good. That's there's always other outlets when it comes to wrestling, and wrestling is all over the world. And then we reside here in Southern California, and so we wait for our local indies to put on shows, and we tend to gravitate to what's called Game Changer Wrestling here, GCW, coming back to the Los Angeles area next month in June. So we hope to be in attendance for that. We've been regulars there, and we want to continue going out there. And there's always bangers out there when it comes to GCW locally, and then they travel all over the world, and you guys, we all had the pleasure of watching it live and seeing not just talent that have wrestled there go on to AEW and NXT. We Mondo, you and I, we go back a little bit further, going back to PWG, which is Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, right before everything exploded when it came to AEW. Seeing all those indie darlings, mentioning Keith Lee was in there, Ricochet, the Young Bucks,
Leo Rush.
Leo Rush, like you mentioned. And there was a day that Mondo and I were waiting in the hot summer night, and we're waiting for them to open the venue, but the ring didn't even make it on time. They did I guess there was an issue with the U-Haul truck. They didn't bring the ring on time, and so it
I think
was
they had a
delayed.
flat tire and they were stuck in the freeway. That's what someone said.
Yeah, and it took.
Who knows
2
where their
hours for
sources
it,
were
right?
coming from? Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez, it started like around 11. We didn't get off until like maybe 3 in the morning. It was
it was super late, and
yeah, and we got there at 6 a.m. Like it's
it was a first come first serve basis. Everybody who bought the ticket we're all in the first row or two. But then after that, hey, it all Royal Rumble style. You get in there, you pick your seat.
And then interesting side note, remember this was when the LA fires, not the recent one, but this was back in the mid 2010s, and there was ash, and we're like there in the middle of the day, not even in the middle of the day, beginning of the morning, the sun wasn't even up yet, but just really, really hot, muggy, and then the ash just coming down made things worse. I think I knocked down. I don't even know how much of that crap I breathed in my mouth.
The best thing I think my biggest takeaway was what I remember was having Penta coming out.
Oh yeah, and, that was awesome.
Getting out there, and he grabbed his T-shirt, and he's like $20 for my T-shirt. I got to make money. They, that's how independent wrestlers are at the time. They got to make money. So he's out there, he's hustling, and we're like, damn, wish we had money, because I think we only got like money for drinks in terms of like Gatorade and whatnot, because it was hot.
It was, compré una camiseta, cabrones. I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, you got it.
But that was
the Mexican destroyer on you.
Yeah, shit, do it. But also that was a good night. I think I took a photo with Brian Kendrick that night too, and we saw Sean Waltman, who we didn't have a lighter because we don't do that type of stuff. He just seemed a little disappointed in us. We don't have a lighter, so sorry. Next time, if you ever go to those shows, just in case, bring a lighter.
But good times though, good times back in the day. But that brings us to now AEW. We had our Collision show, Fairway to Hell, which was very interesting because I've never seen that recorded in a golf course. Mondo, you love AEW. Yeah. What do you think of the show? How starting from the beginning with Jungle Jack Perry and Mark Davis?
Dude, was watching this with my family, and I told my wife, I'm like, I know this is not his name, but it's a play on his character, but Jungle Man, Jack Perry, because he's no longer a boy, he's a man. He grew up in front of our eyes in these last 5 to 6 years with AEW. But I did tell my wife, I'm like, hey, Mark Davis, I mean, this guy's a stud, man. He's been putting up great matches and he's been holding his own, but he keeps taking loss after loss after loss. To be honest, the end result here, I was just like, we're going to see Jack Perry win. He's going to probably build up more momentum to the next pay-per-view. But I was very surprised. This was another one of those matches that just started off at a 10, did not slow down. And then the end result, I was shocked. I saw like a version of myself and Don Callis, kind of, because we're both bald. Hop on the ring apron, causing a distraction. And then lo and behold, you got Ricochet coming up, striking Jack Perry with a golf club to the back. Dude, Mark Davis takes advantage, does the jumping pile driver, I forget the move, but pins Jack Perry. And I was stunned, but a happy stunned. I was like, wow, great for him. I was really excited that Mark Davis has his first, I believe that's his first singles titles in AEW, but I was really happy for him because I know he had the trios with Okada and who was it? Kyle Fletcher. And I was just, I was ecstatic. I was really happy. I was like, caught me by surprise, but I was glad that they were able to have Mark Davis win this title at Fairway to Hell. And you're right, this was a very unique setup, and I like when AEW does these kind of things with certain venues. Like they'll make it in a way where it's not only the venue, but the wrestlers can kind of mesh well and kind of use it. But that comes out later on in the night, so to speak. But yeah, Mark Davis, your new national champion, with a little bit of help and distraction from Don Callis and Ricochet.
Because he's bald too.
Hey. Watch it there, bro. I know you got a lot of hair on both of you, but bald is beautiful.
Bald is beautiful. Miguel, what do you think about that first match between Jack Perry and Mark Davis?
Yeah, I mean, not to reiterate what Mondo said, but I thought it was great. Great title change. I feel happy for Mark. He's been working his tail off and just losing and just being such a. I mean, we can tell. I imagine just probably being a game player and such a great guy that he was now rewarded with this title. So super happy for him. See what let's see how Jungle Boy bounces
Jungle
back, and hey, I look forward to seeing them grow this summer and seeing what happens with them.
So, what do you think, Miguel, of now that Jack Perry got he lost his title and now he's pissed and he's like, you know what? I heard Jericho is looking for another person, but then now he's like, I'm gonna bring you four: myself, the Elite,
Yep.
Kenny Omega, Young Bucks. Like, what do you think of that? What do you think of him bringing those three onto the Double or Nothing pay-per-view?
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, I am gonna be glued to the TV 100%. I mean, I'm already gonna be watching, right? But if that happens like that, I can't wait. That's what I think. I can't wait.
Mondo, you feel the same way?
I feel the same way. As in, it's going to be fun. Stadium stampedes. You got the Bucks. You got Kenny. I believe they were in the first one, with the exception of Angman Adam Page. So they've been in there before. They've been in a few already. So this is going to be fun. You put in the mix of that, and then man, you got Jungle Boy, who's also a Jungle Man. Yeah. Damn you, Jungle. And I'm gonna say that he's gonna do something really, really cool. As in, he's gonna do like a crazy spot there. He'll take a dive, and I just can't wait. It's gonna be fun. You got the Bucks again in there. You got Omega. You got Jungle Boy. You got Chris Jericho, and then on the opposite end, who do we got? We got the Demand and Ricochet. And then who were the other two?
Ricochet's pretty athletic.
It's going to be from the Don Callis family. It's going to be Mark Davis and then someone else. I think Don Callis alluded to, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember it was going to be two people from the Don Callis family.
Yeah, I'm not
joining.
too sure who from the Don Callis, but you're right. But if it's Mark Davis and whoever else, I mean, just adding Mark Davis alone, I mean,
yeah, he's a brutal guy.
Yep.
That's a beast.
Got the enforcer.
Ricochet, that's already a beast lineup.
And shout out to Jungle Jack Perry, who actually showed up at GCW the last time I was there along with Miguel. I know Mondo, you'll join us next time for GCW, but shout out to Jack Perry coming out there.
It's okay. You have an issue with bald people. Wink, wink.
No, you said bald is beautiful. Bald is beautiful. And then one of the coolest things that it was an announcement. And then we saw the vignettes about this. Will Ospreay cleared to come back to action. Hopefully at Dynamite. Amado, we mentioned Ospreay in the last segment when it came to Backlash. But what do you feel about? Is it too soon for Ospreay to come back, or do you think this is the right time for him to come back based on what the training that he's been doing with the Death Riders to get him set up for this moment? Do you think he's ready for the jump again?
I think I might have you or Miguel sit on my back while I do those, what was that? Those push-ups and pushing his neck up. I got to build my neck strength too. If that's working, we got to try it at least. Maybe a couple of times, Maybe we can get our neck stronger and just kind of see those little videos and see, okay, we'll do what they're doing there in the background. But yeah, I like where this is going. And then at the end of the day, how is Will Ospreay going to show his thanks to the Death Riders for making him come back as quickly as they did, while his friends on the other side of the globe
Yeah, New Japan, right?
Yeah, in New Japan, the United Empire, they really didn't do anything for him. They were just like, okay, well, you're not here, so why should we care? Which was really devastating to hear because, I do follow New Japan on IG and Instagram, and man, they're continuing the story and the whole faction, especially name escapes me, but the current New Japan heavyweight champ, who was taken under the wing by Will Ospreay, he kind of doesn't care for him. And you kind of see that, but Will's trying to be the bigger man and the bigger brother, but he keeps calling him out like, oh, Death Rider this, Death Rider that. And he just keeps telling him, I'm not a Death Rider. Yeah. Let's see how they play into that. And then I want to see either one of two things can happen. United Empire turns on Will Ospreay. Maybe John Moxley and them come into the rescue. But then you got the Ops who are also extending their hand
to
Will Ospreay. And, Samoa Joe doesn't play any games, man. He's like, hands out there. Let's just see where you're at. So a lot of good things, a lot of pieces in this storyline. Let's just see where they go. And hopefully it's a good, satisfying result at the end of the day.
Miguel, you ready for Will Ospreay to come back?
I'm ready for Will Ospreay, man. He's given us some great matches live too. So super excited for him to come back. There's lots of angles that, as Mondo alluded to, different angles that this can possibly go. So I'm ready to go. I'm here waiting to see what we're gonna see for Ospreay during the summer.
We'll stick with you, Miguel, on the next segment here when it comes to the Divine Dominion. Lena Cross and Megan Bayne in a maybe like a 2.5 minute, pretty much a squash match. The tag team titles there. I know it's a 5-minute limit, but this really showcased their dominance this time around. So I know you were looking forward to this match.
Yes, I mean, first of all, let's give, like you said, let's give a round of applause for their dominance. This just really goes to show that whether it's a squash match or not only do you see it in the ring with the performance, but physically, these ladies are just goddesses, And last show, we handed out a babe of the, we handed out babe of the show. So today's show, babe of the show is none other than the beautiful Megan Bayne, Megasis. What is there to say that I can't say about her? We've been seeing her wrestle for maybe the last year over at GCW, including when she won the title, made an appearance last time, came out and gave us a banger of a match here in LA at the I forgot
the Ukrainian Center.
At the Ukrainian Center down here in Hollywood, and it was a banger of a match that she gave us. So honestly, I'm super happy to see her on international airwaves now and on across people's television, because she deserves every single inch of it. But back to the matchup, great matchup, great energy. And again, I just love how Divine, they just command that energy and that control from the crowd. And you can see it. I mean, you can see when they step up in the ring with these other ladies.
Easy squash match. Amanda, what did you think about that?
Totally agree. Easy squash match. Squash? Anyway, squash. Want to squash now or later? But yeah, man, these two women are one of the most dominant female tag teams in the division right now, and they showcased it with the 5-minute challenge there, and they won it with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. I took notes, and also noting something, but it's great to see. I love when companies like, sometimes WWE does this too, but I'm seeing it more often with AEW programming, where there's a squash match, maybe one or two. And it's good, man. You need to showcase their talents, and the way they're handling the Divine Dominion is perfect. I can't wait to see where they go. I don't see them losing any momentum. Right now, they have everything to gain. And honestly, they don't have anything to lose. I mean, they're still going to be dominant whether or not they have those belts. And like Miguel said, they have like this gravitational force where the crowd is just loving it. And we love it too, like you said. been watching Megan Bain, you guys more closely,
Very close.
for like, especially Miguel, very, very close for the last year and a half. So this is a good showcase for them, you know, and then,
Yeah,
thought it
real
was
quick,
great.
shout out to her because I think we saw Megan Bain at GCW, and then about a week later, I think she was at Stardom. If I'm
Mhm.
not
Wow.
mistaken, she was at Stardom, defending her title, and it was at All Women's Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's all like an All Women's Japan federation, I guess,
Yeah.
company promotion, and you know, seeing her go from LA to Japan and then coming back to the States to do either Dynamite or Collision is a test to like you know, for her to expand her horizons. And shout out to Megan Bain as always, and we've been big supporters of her from
Hey, shout out Megan Bain.
bow down to the goddess, that's Megan Bain. What do you guys think about the Owen Hart tournament coming back? It's a yearly thing. You know, not you know, we you know, Mondo and I, we love Owen Hart. You know,
Woo!
tragedy what happened to him, but you know, one of our fondest matches was WrestleMania 10, at least for me. It was brother versus brother, and you know, this time the younger brother went out on top, winning that match, and forever, you know, one of the best WrestleMania matches out there. To begin a WrestleMania was brother versus brother. But what do you guys think about the Owen Hart coming back, Invitational coming back? Miguel, what do you think about that?
I'm super excited. I can't wait. Like you said, well, it just is more than a tournament, right? It's really like the person behind what the tournament is about. And as WWE fans and just wrestling fans in general, because of how huge the Hart family were and how big their names were, you know. But Owen Hart, he was awesome, man. He was an awesome wrestler, awesome entertainer, and rest in peace, man.
Yeah,
Not too soon, man.
Madu.
Well said. It's not just about the person, more so about what he brought to the table as a wrestler and what he gave us when we had the chance to see him. And I will say this, for those of you who don't know who Owen Hart is, please, please do yourself a favor. Go watch that match, WrestleMania 10, him against his older brother, Bret Hart. Might have spoiled away the ending there, but hands down, just beginning to end, ring to ring or post to post, whatever you want to call it, just one of the greatest matches there. But he also brought to the table just, I'm gonna say this, and you know, you guys can comment down on, you know, down at the bottom, but he was ahead of his time, just like his older brother. They brought different aspects to wrestling, more so Owen Hart, because he represented not only hard style with New Japan, because these guys traveled all over the world,
Yep.
but he also traveled to Mexico. So he brought some luchador style action, and for his size and his like height, like you're seeing like a guy like almost 6 feet tall or 6'1", I believe, doing these crazy things like a, you know, short person like me would do, you know, like a Rey Mysterio. So, you know, do a little research. Owen Hart, God bless you, man. We miss you to this day. I know I get a little emotional because, you know, we care about these people. They're people at the end of the day, but
Exactly.
still
Biggest
hard
ribber
that he's no
also.
longer here.
Biggest ribber too, in terms of ribbing, meaning he's always playing jokes on
Yeah.
everybody. So and like Mondo said, you know, if you do your research, if you happen to see wrestlers from the Attitude Era talk about Owen Hart, they talk about how much of a jokester he was. And you know, you're out there on the road, and you know, we're all guys, and you know, you want to play jokes on each other, and he was one of the biggest out there that and the best to do it too. So Mondo, correct, you are correct. God bless Owen Hart, and you know, hopefully this legacy tournament will honor his name, just like Miguel said, going forward. So, on to the main event: Darby Allin versus the Bastard.
Speedball Mike Bailey in a squash match against the local talent there, Kevin Ray.
Did I miss that? I think
yeah, you did. It's okay. It was only 2 minutes. It was only 2 minutes. I was like,
we could probably
okay.
play that in.
No. I mean, let's give him credit. No, it was a
Yeah.
great match. You know how Speedball always he's in great condition, so he gives great matches anyways.
Well, there goes my notes.
Like I stated, it was a quick squash match, but yeah, I mean, Tony, let's move forward to next match.
Is it the main event?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's the main event with Darby
anybody
Allin and-
anybody could have missed it. It was just like
Oh,
Miguel said. It was just really fast. It was just
I mean, yeah.
It was speedball. He
Yeah,
sped
fuck.
through it.
yeah. Fucking hype.
But Darby Allin, holy crap, very innovative match. The first thing that came to my mind was Christopher Walken, where he explores the space. Because where did they start? They started out at the 18th hole in the sand trap, and one of the I think I was looking at it. They were just Darby was getting his ass kicked and being thrown onto the sand pit, into the sand trap. With flips, and then he did this one kick where he like made Pac like flip awkwardly, which is really cool. I was like, holy shit, this was awesome.
Yeah.
What again, Miguel, this is something unique that we don't normally see on regular television. But what do you think about that match?
Yeah, I love how they're using the golf space that I think that I'm not too sure what exactly the league name is for that, but they're using where all the golfers are essentially playing on teams versus each other. So that's where they're using that space is from. And so I just think it was awesome, to be honest, especially that matchup. I know I said last podcast that Darby Allin has a smaller frame and that I was a little bit kind of just worried about him holding the title for too long because there are bigger guys that, again, nothing against him, and I'm not saying he can't do it. It's just, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Time and time after again, you keep fighting a 350-pound man, eventually you're gonna lose. You know, it's just the nature of it. But absolute beautiful like use of space, creativity. I mean, did we expect anything less than Darby Allin when he threw himself, or not, or when the bastard threw him off the balcony? I mean,
That was a scary spot.
it was a scary spot, but I mean, did you expect anything else? At that point, I was just, I was like, man, what did I just witness? I think we can all probably say the same thing, and I think you'll probably, but just seeing that took me back to seeing Undertaker throw Mankind off the cage, man. Like I remember watching that pay-per-view, and I remember being a kid and I had to call my dad over, and my dad's like, "Bro, are they allowed to do this?" I was like, "Yeah, they're allowed to do this." I mean, I didn't know, right? But I was just like, "Yeah, they're allowed to do this, Dad." Like, I mean, even my dad was like, "This fool threw him off the cage right now." I was like, but that reminded me of that. Obviously not as high, but just the rawness of it, and just like you said, they were already throwing each other like rag dolls, and then to get on a balcony and then fight it out to see who's gonna get him, and the bastard gets the best of him and just launches him off. Oh man,
Crazy. Baldo, what do you think about that spot in the match overall?
Oof. Scary, entertaining, just every emotion wrapped into one gigantic fall. I think we were debating. I'm like, man, I just saw his ankle and his feet land without even touching anything. I think you also mentioned that it was like butt first. So it was like butt first, and then my unprotected heel over there. I just hope he's fine. I know if it was me, I'd probably be out indefinitely. I won't be able to walk or use my feet anymore. But it is Darby Allin. He's a threshold for pain. But yeah, man, very, very, dangerous spot. He took it pretty well. We did see Darby retain at the end of all this fun, crazy action. Started off in the ring, went over to the sand traps, to the fairway, and then back into the ring, and then they did that spot there. But man, very entertaining, very great spot. 20 minutes, it was a really good episode for a special Fairway to Hell with Collision, and let's just see if his body's holding up, I should say. Because next, it's not Okada as we expected for Dynamite. It's going to be Kenosuke Takeshita.
And what do you think about that? Do you think, unfortunately, there was a family situation for Okada, and then with Takeshita taking over. What do you expect out of this match, Mountain? Like, do you expect it to be just as brutal as maybe Okada was going to bring to it, or even more now that it's Takeshita?
I think you're going to get a good match, regardless of if it was Okada or Takeshita. Um, but I think we're just going to see maybe just no title change, of course, because we know he's planning to face MJF for Double or Nothing in the next week or so. But I think we're going to see Don Callis have enough of Takeshita's sincerity, trying to be respectful to the other opponent. And you're just going to see him say, hey, that's not what I want, kid, because I wanted you to replace Kenny Omega and you're not doing it right. See, I know how us bald people think. So, I think we're going to see a double cross. We're going to probably see the Don Callis family, maybe the Murder Hawk monster come out there and just do something terrible to Takeshita. But we'll see. There's a lot of things going up in the air, and with the whole Okada Takeshita thing, and now since he's going to be replacing Okada for the title, I don't see the title changing hands, but I do see the Don Callis family choosing who they're going to support.
Miguel, you feel the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't said it any better, Mondo.
I'm looking forward to Dynamite on Wednesdays on TNT. So if you guys can catch that, and then let us know what you think about the show too when we come back again for this podcast. And then we're looking forward to Monday Night Raw happening soon. Well, maybe tonight once this video gets uploaded. But is there anything you're looking forward to, Miguel, for Monday Night Raw?
Just the aftermath of Backlash and seeing what all that's gonna look like, right? Because now I feel like we're in total chaos mode in terms of storylines and feuds and you know, so I want to see what settles, what doesn't settle, and then how we're gonna move forward from there. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I'm not really looking forward to any particular wrestler or wrestling. I'm just really looking forward to the direction and overall of where these next feuds or storylines are either gonna come or blossom from, and then where is the summer gonna take us, right? Because um, we had a good WrestleMania, we had a good Backlash. I get it, it's not over the top or great, but to me they were good. So we had good shows. We had good back-to-back PLEs. I don't know if you guys seen WWE schedule. I don't know it by heart. They got obviously the regular schedules like Raw and SmackDown, right? They got the European tour coming up. They got the South American tour coming up, plus the PLEs in between.
That's a lot.
Guys, that's a lot. I mean, you're talking about. Oh, I was looking at the schedule, and you're talking about sometimes they even got, I think, 4 shows a week, and 3 of them are in different locations. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm looking forward to. I think this Monday Night Raw is gonna be a big reset for WWE in terms of feuds, storylines, and not even just Raw, SmackDown as well. But I just think Backlash was that perfect. All right, let's cut everything that was happening off. We'll continue what does need to be continued, but for the moment, let's get a refresh for the summer. That's what I feel.
Cool. Anything you're looking forward to, Mondo, for Monday Night Raw?
Not expecting too much. I just hope they can build upon the whole feud with Roman and Samoan Werewolf. Jacob Fatu, thank you. And let's see where the everybody else goes. Again, I want to see a little bit Danhausen mischief on Monday Night Raw. Is he a SmackDown guy or a Raw guy? I keep forgetting.
I think
he is a universal housing guy. So
so he's on both.
Sometimes he pops up at Raw and sometimes he pops up at SmackDown. So
there we go. So keep that mystique going with Danhausen. So let's just see what goes on. Again, the entertaining aspect of WWE has made it a must-see Danhausen TV for me. And again, I just want to see where the aftermath of Backlash, and if they can do something with the end results there, then it'll be a good show. So let's see.
Cool beans. I think we can probably call it a show this time around. I know next time, hopefully, we can do one more show. I know, Miguel, you're gonna most likely may not be here next week. You'll be out there partying it up at EDC, sir. So, is there anybody you're looking forward to seeing when you get out there to EDC?
Yeah, so I'll be on the show Wednesday as we have it scheduled this upcoming Wednesday, but I won't be on the show coming Sunday as my partner alluded to. I'm going to EDC. I'm gonna go have the time of my life. I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to a bunch of people, right? Far and foremost, I'm looking forward to just having fun with my friends and seeing some of my friends that are in the military and I haven't seen them in a while. So far and foremost, that's what I'm looking forward to. Now, in terms of entertainment, there's a lot of DJs and producers, but the two that I'm looking forward to or their set is Luke Dean and Max Dean. That back to back is going to be absolutely nuts. So if you are going to EDC, feel free to send me a message. Let's hang out. I'll be at Camp EDC. I'll be at the not at the tents, at the RV section, at the RV site. So that's where I'll be at. Let's grab a drink. Let's talk about wrestling. Let's have some fun.
And talk about music too, huh?
Yeah, music, of course.
Man, we'll be back. Mond and I will be here. Hopefully we get a special guest while you're away, and then
Okay.
we'll get back to it before you get sent, giving you the proper send off for next weekend. But that's all the time that we have for today. Again, my name is Tony, your host, my tag team partner Mondonium, and the California Rattlesnake over here, Miguel. Wishing you a great day, and then as always, Mondo, like and subscribe, right?
That's right. Caught me off guard there.
Subscribe. If there's anything you guys feel that we probably missed, again, if you guys feel like there's something that you guys agree with or disagree with, please comment, and we hope that we can see you guys on the comment section, and then we can talk about it next time. So again, this is Tony signing off for the West Coast Trios Wrestling Podcast. See you next time, guys.